Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ya Ali Madad. Thanks to His Highness Aga Khan, his unending help for Miss Asteria Desa when we got into trouble or were made to fall into trouble, pulled down by the United States of America and during the regime of Ziaul Haq, when he could find someone to have us get into trouble. I apologize for certain points that I have missed, and I'm recalling them but fail to because I can't prepare my work here. Being in a condition I can't explain, I hope my listeners would understand and forgive me. Actually, if in a case like this, there is no evidence, because the evidence is removed and it's very, very difficult to discern the deception of a deceptive person, says Imam Ali alayhi salam. I'm not quoting him, but I have his quote back in Karachi. I've written it down in one of the diaries. It's extremely difficult to discern the deception. He uses discern, the word, of deceptive people. There is more to the quote, but I can't remember. Again, I would ask for forgiveness. So in such cases, years have passed by. The way my enemy has worked, we can't just bring a case like that. We failed to bring this kind of a case during the regime of Ziaul Haq. All the lucky stars were in his favor. So we'll start with a few lines of Dua Kumail, the supplication of Kumail. My enemy deceived me. Destiny was on their side. What could I do? And thus they deceived me. Another thing is that in such cases, what can be used is inference. You can read about this inference for court cases evidence. Historically, it started in the three princesses of Serendip. So I'm wondering, and all I can do is wonder and infer whether Ziaul Haq used that woman in Texas to plant this setup against me in Karachi American School, and to bring Marion Williamson and Matthew. At this moment, we could only suspect America and not Pakistan, or maybe a Pakistani with an American. Who was it in the family? Or was that person in the United Arab Emirates? So, sorry, my voice is also kind of cracking, and I think I need some oxygen and a sedative, probably a herbal, preferable sedative. So the Karachi American School authorities, the way they worked, we couldn't tell who it was. Dr. Todd came, and why did I need therapy? I don't understand. At that time also, I couldn't understand why I needed therapy. I was growing up normally, like a normal person, and maybe like a very mature person. Or at times when in love with Miss Asteria Disa, that was a chaste love. Uh, it was a devotion. It was love towards. I wouldn't use God because it's very dangerous to use such a word, God, because after that and before that also, people have used this God, Allah, Ta'ala, and Islam for their own benefit, their own interest. So exploiting this word, I would try to avoid it. But my love was very pure for Miss Asteria Desa. Pure in the sense that there was nothing, no dirt in it. Uh, I loved her like I would my grandaunt, and I had a few grandaunts I loved very much, and I would spend time with them. Their doors were always open for me. So we have this in our culture. We have this love that doesn't go into all this attractiveness and romance and all that. We have kept it, maintained it, because we felt we were blessed with this. And then we have the community love, and then we had Zulfikar Ali Bhutto's love. I heard his speeches, and when he used to come to Nishta Park, I could sense a lot of love, passion for his country, not only for his country, but the people of Pakistan. And he was really very loving and passionate. And he wanted this country, Pakistan, if it was left to him and his people would have been faithful to him, Pakistan would have been one of the most prosperous countries of the world. Instead, this Ziaul Haq and this woman, the Texan, Joanne Herring, their association with each other brought this disaster on Pakistan as well as Afghanistan. Until this day, America has failed to bring a prosperous Afghanistan. Look, Joanne Herring is claiming that she wanted to help Afghanistan, but they used Afghanistan. And so you can fool many people, your own country people, but how many people can you fool? You can't fool the true people, the honest, the children. Our hearts are like children, hearts. Jesus said, be like these children, innocent. Anyhow, back to my case. My family members, my mother, in memory of my beloved mother, this Ziaul Haq, an unconstitutional person. How could he blindfold the Supreme Court when Shahid Benazir Bhutto brought this case against him, and prior to that, Shahid Nusrat Bhutto brought a case against him? This was a hell of a regime, a cruel regime against the people of Pakistan. This army man was going to favor his people in Pakistan, not every Pakistani. Those who didn't want him, and rightfully didn't want him. He hanged Bhutto wrongfully in a very unconstitutional manner. He took over Pakistan in a very unconstitutional manner. Referendums should be held against Islam and against the constitution. He couldn't save the heart of Pakistan. Sindh, Multan, Balochistan, NWFP. He only saved Punjab. And now, coming to this, after the Karachi American School, some years, well, in 1984, Dr. Todd passed me on to this clinical psychology. The Institute of Dr. Farrukh Ahmad, a lecturer in Karachi University too, in psychology, a Punjabi herself. So first what they did was buying time. They sent me to Mrs. Eva Hassan, who had done her MA and now was doing psychology, PhD, but she hadn't graduated. And then slowly from 1984-85 past, Dr. Farrukh Ahmad wanted to see me now, and she started to make me believe that she was with me. Yes, because Dr. Todd became very cold with me. And when she passed me to Mrs. Eva Hassan, she told Mrs. Eva Hassan I was a liar. But later on, in year 2000, when I told Eva Hassan, Dr. Eva Hassan told me that she didn't know. I asked her, I said, do you remember the time when you told me in therapy that this Dr. Todd had told you that I was a liar? So she told me no, she doesn't remember. I went to her house. I used to go to her house for therapy. Dr. Eva Hassan was scared of Dr. Farrukh Ahmad. Later on, when she did her PhD, she would see her patients in her house. And she told me that Dr. Ahmad wouldn't allow this. So, and Dr. Ahmad would not allow me to see her in therapy as a therapist. So we had to hide this from Dr. Farrukh Ahmad. Yes, so in the beginning, Dr. Farrukh Ahmad, I told her that Dr. Todd became cold with me after seeing Ms. Desa. Now I was I was against Ms. Desa. I thought Ms. Desa didn't want me in the Karachi American School, and Ms. Desa complaining to my family members too against me. So I thought that it was Ms. Desa who didn't want me, and who has got all these people against me. So Dr. Ahmad had this favor on her side, and she told me she's not going to change. And I said, no, you will change. The moment you must speak to Miss Desa. So she called Miss Desa. Miss Desa came with a friend, and they had a meeting. And then I was told that she shouted at Miss Esteria Desa. And then I saw that Dr. Farrukh Ahmad was so against Miss Desa. She called Miss Desa a wretched woman. And we're going ahead now. Years afterwards, when I had this problem, I had to leave Mrs. Munira Gulzar and the internet. Stick to the internet, do anything, go mad, but don't go to Mrs. Munira Gulzar. So what's happened is I've gone back to Dr. Ahmad for some advice on these hearing voices and schizophrenia, being scared that I could be delusional and even see a phantom or a ghost. So she's told me about Mrs. Munira Gulzar that she didn't handle the case properly. If it was yet with me and if I was there or Eva Hassan was there, meaning Mrs. Dr. Eva Hassan, we would have worked well with this, thinking they have done their job well. Dr. Farrukh Z. Ahmad, may I remind you, was now there was this thing that God knows what they were up to. They were trying to tell me that Dr. Eva Hassan is fida on me, like as a this thing therapist. So I would keep going to Dr. Eva Hassan. I mean, all these psychological reverse psychology were used on me. But even if I was going to Dr. Eva Hassan, I would end up going to Miss Esteria Dessa. The only thing that changed my life was that I had to go to a yogi, Professor Muiz, because I was not stopping in going to Miss Dessa and acting properly, behaving well, the way Miss Dessa wanted me. That's why I was in therapy, to change myself and to love Miss Dessa the way Miss Dessa would want me to love her. So whatever Dr. Eva Hassan and Dr. Ahmad were doing, trying to make me, believe that they loved me very well, they really cared for their patients, and so thus this was being done. Or Dr. Eva Hassan told me this, that Dr. Ahmad, even though like Dr. Ahmad would not allow her to see me in her house, she's seeing me. And so that made me think how wrong Miss Asteria Dessa was, that she couldn't stand up for a friend like as I was. She had called me a friend and we were family friends. She couldn't stand up for me against the Karachi American School. And she was complaining to them, and she complained to Dr. Todd against me. That's why Dr. Todd became cold with me. So this was going on up till 1987. No, later on, 88. 88, I found this yogi in 1987-88. And I found Father Augustine too as a counselor, a certified therapeutic counselor, because I believed that now these therapies were not working. And so I told Dr. Eva Hassan about it in her house. So then she joined Professor Muiz and did Reiki. She became a Reiki master there. This will be continued as to how the Punjabi woman comes in, how I've inferred and used inference, and what is my case, who is to be blamed for this mess up and deceptions. Thank you so much. All the best. God bless. Ameen.